Welcome back. In this video, we'll learn how to analyze our data across categories of another variable. To recap for those joining us for the first time, throughout the series, we've been using the same example to explore the ODA tool's capabilities. We're looking at data from Afrobarometer's Round 9 survey in Kenya. We've selected section I, Institutions, Leadership and Governance, then Trust Others as a subcategory. We then selected the question, Trust National Electoral Commission. This is the data we'll be referencing throughout this video. If you're unsure how we got here, please refer to earlier videos in this series. So far, our data analysis has shown us what proportion of Kenyans express various levels of trust in their electoral commission. But let's say we want to know how Kenyan women feel about the commission and how they differ from Kenyan men. So far, our data analysis has shown us what proportion of Kenyans express various levels of trust in their electoral commission. But let's say you want to know how Kenyan women feel about the commission and how their views differ from Kenyan men. Let's start by clicking the downward-facing arrow in the Select a Crossing Variable box. Right above the table, you'll see various options: gender, age, education, and more. Selecting Gender of Respondent transforms the table and the chart. The table now shows only percentages. The second column, Total, shows the combined data for men and women, the same numbers we got earlier for the whole sample. The next two columns show the breakdown by gender, the percentages for men and the percentages for women. To the right of the table, we see that the chart changes to a stacked bar chart. The x-axis now shows percentages, the y-axis displays the man and woman categories, and the different colors of each bar represent the response options. For example, the table shows that 21% of Kenyan men and 17% of Kenyan women trust the Kenya Electoral Commission a lot, displayed as purple in the chart. In the same drop-down box where you picked Gender of Respondent, you can do the same type of breakdown of the data by the respondent's age, education level, urban or rural locations, and other variables. So now we know how much Kenyan women trust the Electoral Commission, but let's say we want to know how much Kenyan women who live in rural areas trust the Commission and how they differ from women in urban areas. Let's click on the downward-facing arrow in the Select Second Crossing Variable box, and then select Urban or Rural Primary Sampling Unit. Now, the table has three main categories: urban respondents with separate gender categories, rural respondents with separate gender categories, and urban and rural combined with separate gender categories. Continuing with our example, in the first section of the table, titled Urban, we can see that 15% of urban respondents, men and women combined, trust the Electoral Commission a lot. When looking at men and women separately, we can see that 16% of men and 13% of women who reside in urban areas trust the Electoral Commission a lot. If you scroll down a bit further, you will come to the second section of the table, titled Rural. Our table shows that 21% of rural residents, men and women combined, trust the Electoral Commission a lot. Further, when looking at rural men and women separately, we can see that 23% of men and 20% of women residing in rural areas trust the Electoral Commission a lot. If you scroll down further, you will see the third and final section of the table titled Total. This section combines rural and urban categories, therefore replicating the data which was displayed when we only crossed the data by one variable, being gender. For instance, the table shows that 19% of all Kenyans, men and women combined, rural and urban combined, trust the Electoral Commission a lot. Further, 21% of Kenyan men and 17% of Kenyan women, regardless of where they reside, trust the Electoral Commission a lot. If you look at the chart, The first two sections of the table, urban men and women and rural men and women, are displayed visually, with the response options now represented by different color bands. A lot, the category we've been looking at, is represented by the color purple. Now, let's explore the different ways values can be displayed in our table and chart. First, let's return to the data disaggregated only for gender. We deselect the second crossing variable by clicking on the red X next to Urban or Rural Primary Sampling Unit box. Then, move your attention to the third selectable box above the table. Once you select it, you'll see that the default option is Show Percentage over Column Total. This means that all the different response options by men total 100% and all the different response options by women total 100%. So we are saying, for example, that of all the men who responded to this question, 21% said that they trust the Electoral Commission a lot. This is the default option because it's the most obvious way to think about the data. Selecting Show Percentage over Row Total shows each response category as 100%. In our example, the 458 respondents who said that they trust the Electoral Commission a lot are considered 100% of responses in that category. For those 458 people, 55% were men and 45% were women. Show Percentage over Total calculates each value as a percentage of all 2,400 respondents, which now becomes 100%. So, we say that of all 2,400 people who answered this question, 10% said that they trust the Electoral Commission a lot and were men, and 9% said that they trust the Electoral Commission a lot and were women. Finally, if you select Show Counts, the table will display the number of people who selected each response option. So, 458 people said that they trust the Electoral Commission a lot, 251 of them were men, and 206 were women. By crossing data from one variable with other variables, you can reveal fascinating patterns and insights hidden within your data. In the next video, we'll explore how to view data across time, adding another dimension to your analysis. Thank you for watching this video. We hope to see you in the next one.